Guys, and welcome back to The Sims 4. My name is Abby, and today we're doing another speed build. This is just a modern family home, actually. I think, yeah. I put it on a little bit of a smaller lot so that I wouldn't build a huge house. I didn't want this to be like a gigantic house, although it really is kind of tall. The rooms are a little bit small, so down in the first floor we'll have like an open living area. It'll be an open living room and kitchen and dining area, which I really like. I love doing open living styles, especially in traditional houses, like whenever you like kind of mix like a traditional and modern feel like all together, because I always think of open living as very modern, but I really like to do that in traditional houses as well. So the floor plan here is going to be that the living room and everything will be very open, and then we'll go on the upstairs. On the second floor there will be a teenager bedroom and a toddler bedroom. So we'll have the two bedrooms there and a bathroom. Actually, I think there's a bathroom on each floor. Yeah, there is a bathroom on the first floor and a second floor for the kids, and then the master bedroom is going to be on the third floor, and then it'll have its own little ensuite. So this is actually, I mean, it's not like a really tiny house. It's a nice sized family home. And I didn't want it to come off like a mansion, because that's not what it is. The rooms, like I said, are pretty small. It's just a family house. You know, it's not really a starter house. It's just kind of a cool house to live in. A lot of green colors around the place. I don't know why, but I associate like a lot of plant life with a modern style for some reason. I don't know. I guess I just use plants all the time, because I even use plants with traditional homes too. But a lot of like actually like green items like the ivy and just really green plants I associate with modern living. So not really flowers as much as in traditional builds. I use a lot of flowers and stuff with traditional builds, but like greenery, actual greenery for modern homes. For some reason, I don't know, I just really like it. I think it makes it look good. So there's not that much on the outside, but there is a little bit. You will see some shrubs. I didn't really want the roofing to look too complex. So it's just some flat roofing, and then, you know, some that are just a little bit pointed upwards, kind of, you know, to make it look a little bit more dimensional. But I found several pictures online of some modern homes, and I do that a lot. Like, if there's a certain style that I'm thinking of that I want to do, I just look up, like, I just searched in modern homes, and I just picked, you know, different things here and there that I wanted to build, or that I wanted to use from each home that I saw in this build. Some of those buildings might have been apartment buildings, I'm not really sure, but I decided I wanted to do some wood paneling on the outside, so we do use the wood paneling from the bowling stuff pack. At first, this was going to be a base game and like one other pack build, but then, I don't know, I put that bowling stuff pack paneling up by accident, forgetting that I was going to do like a restricted build, and it looked so good, I was like, forget it, we won't worry about it. So we just use all the packs in this one, or most of them anyway. I don't know if I use something from every pack. I'm pretty sure I do. That's usually what happens. Now, my favorite part of this house is actually going to be the kitchen, which you'll see here in just a few minutes when we go on the inside. And it's like, it's got these like really natural colors to it, but also really clean and crisp and modern, and it's really nice. I love the kitchen. It's my favorite room in this house. The outside here is just the green and then the dark gray, and then just like concrete is used for the porches. I thought that would be the best. You know, wood kind of would look funny, I would think. We do have some interesting walls that you'll see here in a little while that kind of blend in with the floors, which I wasn't really sure about at first. I was like, I don't know, do I really like this? But in the end, I actually ended up really liking it, and I used it several other times throughout the house. So you will see that here in just a few minutes, and I'll point it out again if I'm not talking about something else. Because, you know, sometimes I go on rambles, but right now I'm sticking to the build, sticking to my guns. I don't know. I have been away for a few days, so this is the first thing I've recorded since when was that? Wednesday, I want to say? Because I was pre-recording everything Wednesday, maybe Thursday. I might have recorded something on Thursday. But I haven't recorded any, like, since then. I was out of town, and I was kind of keeping it a little private because I didn't want anybody to, like, you know, be creeping on me and, like, show up in places that I'm at. I don't know. I just like to be careful. I see way too many Lifetime movies, you know. My mom always talks about, like, she doesn't really think of me leaving the country ever as a good idea. She's always like, but you're gonna get sold into sex slavery, and I'm like, maybe not. But yeah, I get very paranoid about things, much like she does, you know. As you get older, you will realize you're turning into your parents. One of them, maybe both, and maybe even your grandparents, because I hear things that I say every day, and I'm like, oh, I sound just like my mom, or I sound just like my grandmother. And I'm like, oh man, I should really just not. Anyway, though, I was away first Thursday. I went shopping, so I kind of wasn't out of town on Thursday, but I really didn't have time to record or do anything then. So Thursday, I went shopping with my mom because we knew we were going to be out of town. She wanted to get, like, some clothes to wear. We were going to a concert. We were going to a Passenger concert. And people kind of don't know sometimes when I say who, like, Passenger is. He's a British musician. He's got a hit song, Only Know You Love Her When You Let Her Go. That one, yeah, that's him. And we went to go see him. It was a really good concert. Now, it is a different type of concert that I've, like, ever been to, because my first concert was Def Leppard and Joan Jett. Right, so his music, Passenger's music is kind of more like folksy, so it's a lot different than Joan Jett and Def Leppard. You know, after Joan Jett and Def Leppard, that was when I was in 8th grade. I then went in the 9th grade and I saw Avenged Sevenfold for the first time, as well as, I'm trying to think, there were several bands. I've been to the Rockstar Energy Uproars festivals a couple of times. So I've seen Avenged Sevenfold there, and then I've also seen Avenged Sevenfold at another concert with Black Veil Brides and with Asking Alexandria. So I've been to some, like, you know, rock shows, and this Passenger concert was really different than that. But I really, really liked it. It was very intimate. It was at the Ryman Theater in Nashville, which, if you guys don't know where that is, it's like, it's in Nashville, Tennessee, but it's the old Grand Ole Opry. Like, they built a new one in the 70s, so it's not really new, but it was the original Grand Ole Opry. So the Ryman Theater is there in downtown Nashville. And we ate at Margaritaville, and I had some blueberry pomegranate margaritas, and it was so good. I've never had a margarita before. Yeah, I really like fruity drinks, though, so I knew I'd probably like it. But that was the first margarita I had ever had, and I was at Margaritaville, and I thought, well, you know, you can't get something else. You know, I thought about getting a Bahama Mama, but I decided I wanted to try a margarita for the first time, and I really liked it. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I wish that I knew how to make it because it was so good. Anyway, though, we're just finishing up the kitchen there, and like I said, I really love the natural woods and the stainless steel stuff. It's so great. I love it. And then I put up these little shelves over here on the outside of the kitchen, but I do put some spices on them and things like that. So, you know, maybe if you're cooking something special, you would go around there and grab, like, some peppers or, you know, something that you wouldn't normally cook with. You know, they're over there. It's things that you don't really need on hand all the time. And I thought this would be something neat to do. I have been thinking about doing this with a television, just having this, like, glass paneled column to hold up the TV, like a TV stand almost. And then, you know, behind it, I just did a little green space with some plants, some plant life. I was having such a hard time trying to figure out what to do with the couches in this game. I'm so sick of the couches that we have, so sick of them, and I don't want to use the retro ones over and over and over again because those are the new ones and I really like them. So I tried to veer away from those, even though I did use the retro chairs here. I did want to use a different couch, but I don't know if there was any custom content that I was gonna get for, like, building. It would be couches. I cannot stand it. And I've thought about, I think I might do a build with some custom content. Like, I'm going to come up with something that I really want to do. Just going to be a small build, and I'm just going to play around with some custom content. And I'm just going to do the one build, and then, play around with it, see how it looks, make it look really nice. And, I may or may not share it on the gallery since it's going to have custom content. But I will, upload the speed build here on my YouTube channel. But then after that, I'll remove all that custom content and continue building with the in-game stuff. Unless I do like a series of builds with just custom content. Which, that could be something interesting. Just some small houses. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. This is the paneling that I was talking about on the wall. Which, parts of it are turned sideways and some of them go straight up from the floor. And I really like it. At first I was like, I don't know if this is going to look good, but it turned out looking great. I really like it. And I think I might do it again for something else. Maybe, I don't know. I should probably come up with different ideas for other things, but sometimes you come up with something great and you're just like, I'm going to use that again over and over and over again till I'm sick of it. What can you do though? So I know I'm going to randomly be switching gears throughout this whole commentary, but it's been a couple of days away from the recording stuff. So I've just got some stuff here and there, that I can think of, and I'm just like, oh yeah, well I probably need to mention that. So my mom told me the other day that our house, the one that I grew up in, not the one that I'm in right now, we still have that house because our living situation is complicated. It's just really weird, and I'm not going to go into detail about it because it's just hard to understand. But the house that I grew up in actually is turning 100 in 2025. So that house will be 100 years old. And our house, I mean, I'm not going to do a speed build on it right now just because I don't feel like there's any need to. And there's certain items in the game that would belong in the house that we don't have, and one of those would be like a piano that's it's not a grand piano, it's just the one with the straight back. We have one of those. That's my piano. I used to play a lot when I was younger. I don't really play so much anymore. I probably could pick it back up, but I don't know, just there are some things that you just kind of you stop doing and you don't really know why. Because I really liked playing the piano. Just things got in the way. Life got in the way. So, I can't really do that for that house. But I was thinking about my house, and I was thinking, well, our house was around 100 years ago almost. So I'm sure some of these other houses around town probably were around as well. And I decided, I was like, well, I kind of do traditional builds anyway on the channel, so I was thinking maybe I can get some ideas of some of the houses around town. So, I'll let you know. It's not going to be like a series or anything, but I am going to do some of the houses from around where I live, or, just some that are inspired by those houses. There's one house that I saw the other day, which I've never noticed in my entire life, and this is a small town that I come from. Really, really small town. I've never noticed this house, though. I don't know why, because I've driven by it probably a million times. And it's very traditional, really, really traditional house. That's how most of the houses are that I grew up, that were built around the area that I grew up. But it's got these really, really big windows on the front porch, similar to the windows you're seeing here on this modern house. And I thought it just looked really, really interesting. So I'm probably going to do some builds like that. Take some inspiration from those houses that I've seen. I took some time the other day with a friend of mine, and we drove around and looked at houses, and it's just, we called up, we talked while I was looking around, and I was just kind of mentally making note of some of the places. And I think I'm going to do a build of an old church building too. So around my, where I lived, there's the town, and then there's a lot of country area, which is still kind of part of the town, but kind of not really. It's on the outskirts of the town, but still kind of, I don't know, it's complicated. But we drove all the way out there into the country, and there's an old church there, which I've seen a million times. I go out there every now and then. Just when I drive around, I usually head out into the country and just drive. And I, sometimes I take my dog and we just go out and we go for a drive, with the windows down, and one of the dogs anyway. We've got 3, but I'll usually take one of the dogs and let them ride with the window down around the country area out there. But there's a church out there that I don't think like anybody uses it, or if they do, it's just for like every now and then. Like I'm pretty sure it's probably pretty decrepit on the inside, but on the outside it's still pretty nice. It's very white. It's like a traditional like church that you would think of like in a small town. You would think of the white panel, the white siding on the outside with like I don't know if there's like a steeple on the top of it or what. I have pictures of it though. It's hard to remember sometimes things that you've seen like a lot in your life. It's hard to like think of them and try to remember them and like remember exactly what they look like. Sometimes, if you haven't seen it like every day of your life, it gets a little difficult. Like I could actually draw out a map of the house that I grew up in, and I mean I lived there from, let's see, I think I was in kindergarten when we moved in there, but it was my grandmother's house before. So my dad actually grew up in the house. I don't remember when he would have moved into it. Like, it would have been when he was in elementary school probably. So it's also the house that my dad grew up in. But I remember almost everything in that house. I could draw that house. Like, I mean, I know it like the back of my hand, literally. And just, certain things like that, I guess you could probably remember a little easier than other things, especially things that you see every day. There are things, though, that you see a lot, and then you're just like, I don't remember what that really looks like. But luckily I do have pictures. I know I'm really, really rambling today. Like, it's kind of bad today, isn't it? And I think it's because I'm running off very little sleep. Like, Saturday night was a concert. Today is Monday, so I'm just now getting back into recording stuff. Saturday night, I think it was more like, Sunday morning when we got back. So it would have been like Sunday morning, like 1 or 2 o'clock is when we got back from the concert. And I think I slept like a total of 4 hours. And I swear in the middle of the night something poked me in my sleep. And, I mean, it's not unusual for things like that to happen to me, like, at our house, because our house is just kind of creepy, and people have died in our house. Some of them have been family members and people that, like, we knew really well, so it's not, like, anything weird, any, like, random old scary people, but, that it's still kind of weird when stuff like that happens. So, I will have to have a little story time in one of my next builds and talk about the scary stuff that's happened to me. Because there's a lot. There are quite a few things that have happened to me at my house and not at my house. I've stayed at an old hospital before when we used to ghost hunt, and I hope that we do that again very soon. We probably will. But anyway, that night I didn't really sleep very well, and like I said, I woke up thinking something touched me, but I wasn't really sure, so I just went back to sleep. No big deal. So I only slept 4 hours that night, and then the next night I slept okay. I mean, I have sleep issues anyway. Like, I wake up a lot and don't really get enough REM sleep. But then today I had to get up and drive back to school, and I went to school today, went to class, and then I came back home, and I'm probably going to take a nap after this. But I don't know. I hate taking naps because then after I wake up, I just feel kind of gross. It feels like I wasted several hours in a day. So, like, I mean, my relationship with a nap is just kind of love-hate because every day I'm like, oh, I just want to take a nap. And then when I lay down to take a nap, I'm like, oh, I could be doing stuff. I could actually be productive. So, yeah. I'm going to try to stay on top of my recordings, though, for the next week. It's going to be pretty hectic the next few weeks. I have finals coming up. I've got projects to finish. I've got papers to finish. So I've got a lot going on right now. But like I said, I rambled pretty much this whole video. But I think most of what I was saying was kind of important. It's kind of stuff, letting you know what's going to be happening with the channel and where things are going from here. But anyway, we're in the screenshots now. Yeah, this is a pretty modern build, pretty cool, I thought. And it was a little bit more of a generic build. I've talked before about how sometimes I do buildings that are very generic, like in the way that they're furnished, and then some buildings are furnished for the people that are going to live there. So this one was more of a generic build, just kind of, for anybody who thinks that they would want to live here, I guess. I really did like this balcony area, though. It's pretty cool. And like I said, I'm going to have to do that wall paneling again. And you can actually see the Sims that I moved into this house just outside of the window there just a second ago. That Sim is actually created by my brother, and he is based on Passenger, the guy, the musician that I went to go see. And I actually didn't do that on purpose. I just picked a random Sim, and it just happened to be him. Anyway, though, thank you guys so much for putting up with my rambling and for watching this video. And I know I talk all the time, and I don't know how you can even stand it, because I just don't shut up half the time. But anyway, thank you again. If you haven't already, please don't forget to like and subscribe down below, and I will talk to you guys soon.